I'm officially live. I'm going to ensure you're all able to hear me. Excuse me, chat. Alright, y'all able to hear me? Alright. Yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back goes more of me playing The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered. Right before I started live streaming, bro, my nose was bleeding like crazy. And then apparently, after I got that situated, and y'all know that my nose bleeds, specifically associated with my traumatic situation, which obviously my stress and anxiety is specifically associated with my traumatic situation as well, like overall, so. And yeah, and then apparently when I was sneezing, apparently blood occurred, so I'm pretty sure it's either from my nose or I just coughed it up, and I'm like, this is my first time this is my first time that I overall coughed, coughed it, my bad. I'm like to myself, this is apparently my first time that I coughed up blood when I sneeze. Right when I sneeze, I cover my mouth with my right arm, and apparently blood occurred from my mouth, and I'm like, checking my nose, okay, nothing is dripping. It was from my mouth. It's like I coughed it up when I pretty much sneezed, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is like my first time for this to occur, like over, so. But anyway, chat, as I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, the last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention within this current live stream, is that full mental maturity 7 plus. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth. And, despite the age from being temporarily, like over, so. And another thing I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, like overall, okay, hold up. And as I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention in this current live stream, is that, hold on, let me hop into the game. Yeah, 20 years later, because I don't want to hear this music. I want to pause the game when I get this shit situated. But yeah, chat, as I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention in this current live stream, is that, hold up. But yeah, as I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention in this current live stream, is that I'm physically young, obviously. I'm chronologically 20 and a half. Gonna be chronologically 21 in exactly 2 more months on exactly January 11th of 2026, which the drinking age is gonna be from 21 plus to 11 12 plus, which is typically gonna be 11 12 plus when I make those changes next year. Like over, so. Like when I'm present at exactly 21 years old next year of October of 2026, or even earlier than October, like overall, so. And I'm mentally wise, meaning like I'm more mentally wiser than all of the individuals. So pretty much I'm mentally wise, but I'm more mentally wiser than all of the individuals I specifically mentioned that I outsmarted. Like those specific individuals I specifically mentioned that I've outsmarted, like those I mentioned was in my recent live streams, like overall. And as what I could possibly mention within this current live stream if I wanted to consider, or within my future live streams within this current gaming channel, obviously. Yeah, like overall, so. And as I specifically mentioned as well within my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention within this current live stream, is that I'm not necessarily an asshole. I'm not necessarily a dumbass. And I'm pretty much a smartass. Like, I am the smartass. Like, overall, so. But anyway, chat, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to shit. And hold on, let me check this Snap group chat, because it's constantly spamming. They're pretty much chatting about my So pretty much my homie brought up his ex-fiance or girl, pretty much overall, because fiance means like a girl that you formally promised to, but you know. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah. Without further ado, let's get started shit. But hold up, give me a minute. My homie AZ's calling me was calling me as well, so I want to see. And I will mention to him that I was at the movie theaters earlier, but yeah, that movie is badass. I'll be sure to explain about it when I get a chance. Hold up, he's calling me. Well, not calling me, but I'm calling him. He may possibly enter. Who knows?
Hello?
Yo, what is good?
What's good? Sorry, I was doing something.
It's all good, man. So yeah, you called me?
Yeah, I was, cause you said you wanted to play.
Yeah.
We can play tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm planning to play today.
No, yeah, because I just considered started streaming the Last of Us, so I don't want to like end it like that, you know.
I see.
But yeah, I considered getting the battle pass because I just hop on.
I saw you got the battle pass.
Yeah, what's quite interesting is that if you want to get the emotes, you have to like unlock like the skin specifically, you know, like all their, you know, their accessories. Yeah, apparently this is the first time where they added that feature. I'm pretty sure where like you have to unlock the skin where you can have all their features. Like you're pretty much having their accessories, not like separate, you know. Like how other seasons are in other chapters where like you get the emote separately. It's just a specific emote have not, it's not associated with any of the characters. What's in the battle pass, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate the hard work associated with
Wow.
with
Hey, stop calling me a
you gonna call someone?
no, I'm not.
I mean, you're chatting with someone.
What?
You're chatting with someone.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, Mike,
Yo,
can you hear me?
yeah, but you're chatting with someone on Discord or Fortnite or something.
Mike, what you say?
I'm mentioning, are you chatting with someone on Discord or Fortnite?
I'm not chatting with anyone.
You sure?
I'm chatting with Juan, but he's busy right now.
So on Discord or Fortnite?
Messenger.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was quite curious. Like what are you laughing at?
Yeah, I was laughing at because they call me a bot.
Oh yeah. Speaking of bots, jokes aside. Yeah. Apparently, I almost got a victory because apparently majority of the Fortnite players are bots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I almost got a victory, but apparently that one player apparently killed me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not. It's not like I care. But yeah, I was gonna mention like I appreciate the hard work of Charlie, Wen, and Steve.
No, it's actually Tim Sweeney was the one who came up with the idea to bring back the seven.
Okay, okay, that's what I was gonna mention. If he like has a bit of heart, then like I'll give him a bit of a shout out, whatever.
Yeah.
So he doesn't just oversee the company; he as well is involved.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he created the Seven story,
No, it was Donald Mustard who created it.
but out of respect for Donald Mustard, he wanted to bring the Seven back, the Tim
Yeah.
Sweeney. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because when people mentioned that Donald Mustard got fired, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's not that like greedy like that, you know.
Yeah.
But how exactly you know for sure that Tim Sweeney brought it back? Did someone mention it?
Yeah. Cause the what's it called Clark Clint.
And how did he knew? Like did he like
He brought back, you know, Scion. Remember Scion,
yeah, I remember.
the YouTuber?
Yeah.
He quit. He quitted Fortnite because of the storyline was being bad. But he's come back because Clark Clint brought him back to playing Fortnite again.
Who, Cyan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean the story wasn't necessarily bad. It just ended because of Donald.
But he didn't want to come back.
Mm. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the story ended is because of the departing of Donald Mustard when he retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's part of a gaming company where it involves him spending time with family and part of that, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was part of Epic Games, then like I would consider spending time with family and being a part of it, you know.
Yeah. Do you want what's it called play Fortnite tomorrow so we can continue role play?
Yeah, because obviously everything is exactly the same, just like a huge update, you know.
Yeah, because I'm going to church tomorrow in the morning, so I'll play with you in the afternoon.
For sure, just be sure to let me know what the sermon was about.
What?
I mentioned be sure to let me.
What's a sermon about? Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. But I'm watching your stream right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I'll just yeah. I'll be sure to call you back later because I'm gonna continue this game.
Okay. Just call me back when you finish streaming.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, I'll catch you later.
All right, take it easy.
See ya. You too. Bye bye.
Excuse me, chat. Hold on, I'm gonna think about something personal. Chat, I'm back. I just had to think about something personal real quick. Anyway, Jay, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. But yeah, the movie was badass. But just the ratings, though, PG is perfect. Parental guidance, if anybody's under the age of 5 or 6. Well, PG is 6 plus, but I feel like that's the whole point of why it's called parental guidance. And then once I make those changes next year, once I'm president at exactly 21 years old of either October of 2026 or earlier of whatever month of 2026, while like when I'm like president at exactly 21 years old next year, which is pretty much after the impeachment towards Trump, like Donald Trump, like overall, you know, so you know, so. Because I remember I mentioned specifically like within my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention within this current live stream, is that for 7 plus, sex for pleasure 7 plus, attending a strip club 7 plus, nightclub dancing specifically 7 plus, marriage, wedding, making out, dating, and going on a date as well as 7 plus. but the pregnancy is typically 11 or 12 plus. And drinking is going to be typically 11 or 12 plus when I make those changes next year, like overall, like next year, like of 2026, like overall, so especially for moving out, typically 11 or 12 plus, like overall, so. But anyway, but yeah, for the ratings, for movies specifically, G rated is 5 plus, PG 6 plus. Like I'm just saying, like with the ages I'm gonna add, instead of PG-13, it's gonna be from PG-13 to PG-7. And instead of R, instead of like restricting it, and I feel like it shouldn't necessarily be 17 plus either. It's quite stupid. Then it would be MA, meaning mature audience, meaning you gotta show full mental maturity, which is 7 plus, obviously. Because obviously, full mental maturity is 7 plus, not necessarily 18 plus, because full mental maturity is not necessarily 18 plus, Chad. Simply because that's a myth and an assumption made by the U.S. government and certain countries' governments. Like overall, so. Excuse me, chat. Whereas the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, not necessarily fully formed and fully developed 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus. And for certain individuals, they would mention as well that full mental maturity or like full maximum or max mental maturity is 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus, which it's not necessarily either. So those three ages I specifically mentioned, where some would think that the brain is fully formed and fully developed, and where it would reach or gain full mental maturity, like maximum or just max full mental maturity, like 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus, then I feel like those three ages overall are myth and assumptions in terms of some people thinking that it's fully formed and fully developed and reaches full maximum or max mental maturity, 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus, which those three ages, no. It's not fully the brain is not fully formed and fully developed 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus, and doesn't, and as well for some people thinking that it would like reach full maximum or max mental maturity 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus. I feel like those three ages as well are myths and assumptions made by the US psychologists and neuroscientists and certain countries psychologists and neuroscientists. So the facts are like overall, so and this is just overall what I specifically mentioned about all that shit, chat, is that like what I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams overall, and what I could mention was in this current live stream. So, and the facts are, as I specifically mentioned was my recent live stream, like overall, so and what I'm specifically mentioning was in this current live stream is that full mental maturity 7 plus, the brain is fully formed, fully developed after birth, and despite the age criminals being typically like overall, so like for example, everything I specifically mentioned about 7 plus, like overall, and anything that involves physicality will be 11 or 12 plus typically. But for some would be 10, 9, or 8 plus, but typically 11 or 12 plus. Like overall, so. So like for game ratings though, chat, E for everyone, 4 plus. Instead of E10, it will be from E10 to E7 plus. Because I feel like why 10, that's quite stupid. Because full mental maturity is 7 plus, not necessarily 10 plus. Because when you're 10, that's when you're officially an adolescent, like temporarily, physically an adolescent within your motor body, like overall, so overall, it would be from E10 to E7, because ratings are more of mentality. So from E10 to E7, so it'll be E7 plus, and then instead of teen, like rated T for teen, that is no. T for teen, you're a teenager physically, not mentally. So it's gonna be from T for teen to everyone but mentally mature, meaning EM 7 plus. It's everyone but mentally mature, but 7 plus, like 7 plus, no exceptions. Excuse me, chat. An exception could go from 6 specifically, no 5 years old. Possibly an E7 game, because from E10 to E7, possibly an E7 game, would make an exception for 6 and 5 years old. But if it's like from T for teen, which is stupid, would be EM. If it's EM, it would be for everyone but mentally mature. Meaning you gotta show that you are mentally mature before you can move to the M-rated game. Which E for everyone. EM, meaning everyone but mentally mature, meaning 7 plus, and the exception will go to 6 years old specifically. And if you want to move to M-rated game, rated M for mature, specifically for those 7 and beyond that, so 7 plus. Anybody under that, they can't play. There's going to be age verification for every game to ensure anybody 5 or 6 can't play any of these games, like M-rated game. Because M-rated would be from 17 plus, which is stupid. I don't necessarily like the 17 plus shit either. It would be from 17 plus to 7 plus. Because like I mentioned as well, full mental maturity is 7 plus. Full mental maturity is not necessarily 17 plus. Because like, full mental maturity, 7 plus. Full mental maturity is not necessarily 17 plus. And the full mental maturity as well is not necessarily 18 plus. So those two ages overall I specifically mentioned about is like they are myths and assumptions made by the US government and certain countries' governments. Just like how I mentioned how the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, not necessarily for how some mention like, oh, the brain is fully formed and fully developed at exactly 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus. Or how some would mention that you would reach full maximum or max mental maturity 25 plus, 30 plus, or 35 plus. And those 3 ages I specifically mentioned about, what I would just overall mention about it is that they're myths and assumptions as well made by the US psychologists and neuroscientists and certain countries' psychologists and neuroscientists. So the facts overall, and just overall about everything I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams overall, like overall, so, and what I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream. But the facts overall, as I specifically mentioned, was my recent live streams, and as I specifically mentioned was in this current live stream, like overall, so the facts is that full mental maturity is like pretty much full maximum or max mental maturity 7 plus. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, physically and mentally. It's fully formed, but not fully developed until 7 plus. So pretty much from 7 years old, and then beyond that point, pretty much it's gonna remain fully developed mentally. Overall, so and despite the age criminals being temporarily like overall, so. And then for TV ratings, TVG 5 plus, TVPG 6 plus. Hold on, let me see what the TV ratings are. Not what are TV ratings. What are the TV ratings? Okay. What exactly are the TV ratings? Or TV show ratings? What exactly are the TV? Um. Okay, hold on. I found it. TVY. All those who are temporarily physically aka slash troubles in their mortal body. TVY is 5 plus. TVPG 6 plus. Oh, there's a TV 14. It should be from 14 to 7. That's pretty much 7 plus, and TVMA as well 7 plus. But it would just mention TVMA, but you would know for sure it's 7 plus. Like overall, so. So there's TVY. TVY is 4 plus. TVY7 is 7 plus. Well, thank goodness they made that 7 plus. And was Fantasy Violence 7 plus as well. TVG 6 plus. Excuse me, no. Yeah, 6. No, 5 plus. TVPG is 6 plus. TVY is 4 plus. TVY7 7 plus. TVY7 FV Fantasy Violence 7 plus. TVG 5 plus because TVY is 4 plus. TVG is 5 plus. TVPG is 6 plus. And then from TV14 to TV7, like specifically TV7, it'd be a 07. Okay? And then TVMA, mature audience only. Pretty much 7 plus. And you would understand. Oh, TVY is for 2 plus individuals. TVY is 2 plus. TVY7, TVY7 FV 7 plus. TVG is 5 plus. TVPG 6 plus. From TV14 to TV7 7 plus. TVMA is gonna be 7 plus. Okay. Okay. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. TV ratings, there's more to TV ratings than video games and movies combined. Quite interesting, like overall, so. And I'm playing an M-rated game, so anybody 7 plus have to watch. If I notice that an individual is 5 or 6, they cannot watch. They gotta leave. They can subscribe to me, but they gotta leave. If any 5 or 6 year olds wants to watch me, there's a whole point why I'm gonna play Epic Mickey 2 to the power of 2. Well, the one I'm gonna get is gonna be E10, which pretty much will be from E10 to E7, obviously, because that's gonna be the change I'm gonna make. It shouldn't necessarily be E10, but overall it's E10, and that is when I'm gonna make it from E10 to E7. So I can only make an exception if a 6-year-old can understand it, but a 5-year-old cannot watch it, unfortunately. Just to be aware, and I feel like YouTube should add that feature where you can know which viewers you have that are watching and what ages they are, just so I can ensure. So this game 7 plus specifically, no exceptions. I do not want to see a 5 or 6-year-old watching this. That's why I mentioned anybody 7 plus would understand. Because remember how Maomi was acting like he was choking on a dick? Only those 7 plus would know. And yes, anybody who's from 7 years old and beyond that can do a blowjob. But when I make those changes next year, like overall, so like when I'm present at exactly 21 years old, on exactly year 2026, either of October or earlier than October, after the impeachment towards Donald Trump when he's removed from office, pretty much. And me and Farhan pretty much in office, as do presidents. When I'm president at exactly 21 years old of 2026, and he is 23 years old on exactly year 2026 of next year, when we're both like presidents, pretty much dual presidents, I'll pretty much be the main president, he'll be like the co-president. Or president number 2. Like overall, so. So yeah, when I make those changes next year, like when I'm president at exactly 21 years old, and Farhan's president at exactly 21 years or 23 years old, when we're dual presidents, just when me and him overall make these changes next year on exactly like the year 2026 of either October or earlier than that. So overall, when I make those changes next year, like overall, so. But sometimes people can keep. But sometimes little kids, like those who are temporarily physically AK/shell within their motor body, or those who are temporarily physically adolescent within a mortal body, whether they're preteen or teenager, they would typically keep it low key. Like pretty much, I can possibly witness certain 7-year-olds, boys slash men slash guys slash males, and girls slash women slash ladies slash females performing a blowjob. Well, girls, girls, girls slash women slash ladies slash females from 7 years old to 9 years old will perform blowjob and get their pussy licked from 7 to 9. I bet they'll keep it low key if they're hanging out with their friend and they're like, "Hey, do you want to go into my room? Do you want to see my private part?" I noticed one movie where this girl was showing it to the boy, and then her dad came in and he's like, "Ooh, pretty sure they don't know why they're showing each other that. They may possibly know like, oh, if they want to see each other's, but." And then he's like, "Oh, you got to be married." Well, what if they are married to God Almighty Jesus Christ? Not from a wedding. Wedding is not marriage. But the whole point why wedding is 7+ because it involves commitment. Because you can't just do it for fun, just to party. You gotta for real know exactly why you're having a wedding. Like me, I would have to know, why am I having a wedding? What's the purpose of it overall? Like if my daughter is 7 years old and she's like, I want to have a wedding, I gotta like question her. Do you know what it is? Do you know what's the purpose of it overall? And I'm gonna explain to her. So just something I want to mention. But I would figure that those who are 7 to 9, because you're pretty much temporarily physically kids slash I was in a motorbike, I bet they could keep it low key. And when I make those changes next year, once me and Farhan are president on exactly the year 2026 of next year, was it on October or earlier than October? Yeah, earlier than October, after the impeachment towards Trump, that him and I are going to place, me and Farhan. And once Trump is removed from office, like me and Farhan will be president when I'm 21 years old next year, and he is 23. We're both due president next year of 2026 when I'm 21 and he's 23. Pretty much I'll be drinking at bars and going to nightclubs and all that shit next year. But it will typically be 11 or 12+ for drinking specifically, but gambling like at a casino is going to typically be at 7+, especially for lottery ticket and online gambling, like over so. Like BetMGM or whatever that gambling platform's called online. I'm pretty sure that would involve like you 7+. Or tournaments. Isn't that gambling? Like you're betting or competing or something. Yeah, that would be 7+ as well. Like over so. But yeah, when me and Farhan overall make these changes next year of 2026 of what I specifically mentioned, like how if the little girl wants to perform a blowjob, like those who are physically little, like temporarily physically a kid slash adult in their motor body, they can perform it and get their pussy licked, because their pussy would either be small or medium, but typically small and tight. Oh my gosh, chat. My bad. I did not mean to jerk off while I'm live. That's what I mentioned. You gotta be 7+, but it's not like I'm gonna do it on camera because I'm not the CEO of YouTube. You can hear the effects. Like if you're like, what's that sound in the background? That's pretty much me, chat. But yeah, it would be 7+, because I don't want a 5 or 6-year-old to hear it. Mm-mm. But I'm saying like before I make those changes next year on exactly the year 2026, when me and Farhan are pretty much dual presidents, like we're both president within the same political party of being a Republican. Yeah, when we're dual presidents, pretty much yeah, dual presidents. Like when we're both presidents when I'm 21 years old next year, and he is 23 years old when we're both in office. Like earlier in October after the impeachment toward Trump when he's removed from office. Pretty much when we're presidents on exactly year 2026. So that's when I'll make that change, and just all the changes I specifically mentioned with my recent live streams, anything I specifically mentioned with my last live stream, and obviously what I specifically mentioned was in this current live stream, like over so. But everything I specifically mentioned about 7+ or 11, 12+ overall, especially for gambling, overall at 7+, and how pregnancy would typically be 11, 12+, and drinking as well, 11, 12+. especially vaping, smoking weed, certain cigars, blunt that is healthier than cigarettes, hookah, vapes, and all that will be typically be 11, 12 plus. And how moving out would typically be 11, 12 plus. Just overall, and anything I specifically mentioned about 7 plus, like sex for pleasure, obviously a blowjob, or how the little girl that's temporarily physically gets less troublesome in the body will get their pussy licked, whether their pussy is small or medium, but typically it will be small, and obviously it will be tight either way, whether it's small or medium. Pretty much like oral sex or physical sexual activity, which overall, sex for pleasure, 7 plus. Marriage, wedding, making out, dating, going on a date, strip club, nightclub for dancing specifically, and gambling at a casino, online casino, and lottery ticket. Overall, anything I specifically mentioned about that will be 7 plus. When I make those changes next year, like overall, so you know. So, and anything that's typically going to be 11, 12 plus, like pregnancy, for example, and anything I specifically mentioned about 11, 12 plus, like I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, obviously, of whatever I mentioned, and obviously what I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream, like overall, so you know. So, but anyway, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. But yeah, anybody who's 7 plus will watch it because rated M for maturity. You gotta show them full mental maturity, show that full mental capacity, and that you are fully independent. Just overall, what I just specifically mentioned was in my recent live stream, like overall, so you know. So, and my last live stream, and obviously I would specifically mention was in this current live stream, like how you're pretty much mentally mature / mentally an adult, pretty much official adulthood, mentally obviously, meaning like you're fully mentally mature, fully independent, which is through that mentality obviously, that's full mental maturity obviously, fully responsible, have full responsibility, and have full legal responsibility. Like overall, so like I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream if I mentioned anything specifically about that, and obviously what I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream. And for the and for the full legal responsibility, specifically, and more of being fully independent, and just overall of what I specifically mentioned. So like showing more of being fully independent and the full legal responsibility. That's when I make those changes next year, like overall, So like next year of 2026, when me and Farhan are due presidents, when I'm a president at exactly 21 years old and he's president at exactly 23 years old on exactly either 2026, a bit earlier than October or possibly October after the impeachment, him and I are going to place towards Trump and when he's like removed from office. So yeah, when I make those changes overall, especially towards like being fully independent and full legal responsibility, or showing full or showing more of you being fully independent and that you are capable, especially financial independence, and just overall more of being fully independent, or just independence overall. So your full mental maturity and like full legal responsibility, and just any changes I specifically mentioned that I'm gonna make, like overall, like any changes I would specifically mention, like any political changes that I specifically mentioned, or just like any political changes I just specifically mentioned, or just any changes overall that I'm overall gonna make, like next year of 2026, like overall, so. And as I overall specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention was in this current live stream, as I just specifically mentioned earlier, and just overall, so like how full mental maturity 7 plus, the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age being temporarily. Full mental maturity 7 plus. Again, chat, like how, which the facts are obviously full mental maturity or full maximum or max mental maturity 7 plus, and how the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth. Hold up. Like how the facts are full maximum or max mental maturity 7 plus, the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age requirement laws being temporarily like overall, so like overall, like as I just mentioned about all that shit, like within my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I obviously just basically mentioned was in this current live stream earlier, and just at this moment, like overall, so. But anyway, shit, yeah. Without further ado, let's get started. Shit, just hold on, give me a minute. Same shit. Just so yeah, anybody who's 7+, be sure to watch whenever. So. But yeah, Jay, yeah, like I specifically mentioned, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. But hold up, before I overall, so like overall, like as I just mentioned about all that shit, like within my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I obviously just basically mentioned was live stream earlier, and just at this moment, like overall, so. Mental maturity earlier in October or possibly October after the impeachment, him and I are gonna play towards Trump, or showing full or showing more of. So yeah, when I make those changes overall, especially toward like being fully independent and full legal responsibility, or showing full or showing more of you being fully independent and that you are capable, especially financial independence, and just overall more of being fully independent, or just independence overall. So you're full mental maturity and like full legal responsibility, and just any changes I specifically mentioned that I'm gonna make, like overall, like any changes I would specifically mention, like any political changes that I specifically mentioned, or just like any political changes I just specifically mentioned, or just any changes overall that I'm over gonna make, like next year of 2026, like overall, so. And as I overall specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm gonna specifically mention was in this current live stream, as I just specifically mentioned earlier, and just overall, so like how full mental 7+, the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age being temporarily. Mental maturity 7+. Again, chat, like how, which the facts are obviously full mental maturity or full maximum or max mental maturity 7+, and how the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth. Hold up. Like how, the facts are full maximum or max. No, I said hold up so I can re-mention it just the way I want to mention it, like overall, so. Hold up, I'm gonna think about something personal real quick. I'm back. I was thinking about something personal real quick, like overall, so. Mental maturity 7+. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age requirement laws being temporarily like overall, so like overall, like as I just mentioned about all that shit, like within my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I obviously just basically mentioned was in this current live stream earlier, and just at this moment, like overall, so. But anyway, shit, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Shit, just hold on, give me a minute. Same shit. Just so yeah, anybody who's 7+, be sure to watch whenever. So. Plus, and how the brain is fully formed in full maximum or max mental maturity 7+, and how the brain is like the facts are full. Hold up. Like how My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal, real quick. Like overall, so. Like the facts are full maximum or max mental maturity 7+. The brain is fully formed. Like the facts are full maximum or max. Hold up. My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal. Hold up. My bad, chat. I was my bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal, real quick. Again, like overall, so. Like how, like the facts are full maximum or max mental maturity 7+. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age requirement laws being temporarily like overall, so like overall, like as I just mentioned about that shit, like within my recent live streams, the last live stream, and as I obviously just mentioned within this current live stream earlier, and just at this moment, like overall, so. My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal again real quick, like overall, so. But anyway, chat, yeah. Without further ado, let's get started to this shit. That's just all I want to specifically mention towards you all, chat. Because I love you all overall as my viewers, like overall, so. But yeah, But yeah, anybody who's watching, 7+. Man, there's plenty I gotta mention. Just to keep that upbeat shit going, like overall, so. Especially WWE is gonna potentially be 7+, like specific 7+ for the audience. It's gonna be TVMA potentially.
Wait, are you serious?
I got served the damn papers this morning. Selected for inside work duty.
Oh, it's such crap. The soldiers are supposed to handle the outside.
I'll make sure to tell them that. What about you, Joel? You been summoned for this bullshit yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I bet.
Damn. Hold on, let's see how Joe is. How old was Joel? Prologue and present. In the Last of Us game, Joel was in his 30s, was in the prologue, and 51 or 52 years old during the main story. 51. Okay, 52. I'll say 52 minus 20. He was 32. So how old was he if he had his daughter and she's 12 and he's 32? Damn! He was 19 when he... I see you, Joe. You're a real motherfucker. Not my real. I meant to mention you're a real motherfucker. But damn. Was he that depressed throughout his whole 30s and 40s? Damn, no wonder why he looks old as fuck. I mean, shit, he's in tip-top shape. He's like in his 50s. Come on, bro. Why is Joe in his 50s? Come on. You could have made him in his 40s. Excuse me. Yeah, you could have made him like 42, like 20, like 10 years later. Not 20. Damn, he doesn't even look like his 50s. He looks like his 40s. That's what I mean by tip-top shape. Well, you can notice because the beard's not gray, even though I don't necessarily want someone with a beard. I want him to have a clean... like, you know, Ray Manchester or Cooper Barnes? Barners? He's a British guy. He doesn't even have a beard. See me, chat. Or Jace Norman? Not because they shave it. They just don't have any.
Line hasn't opened yet. Must be running low again.
Go. Down on the ground. Okay, Jesus. Then get down.
Language. Don't say Jesus. Don't take the Lord name in vain. Y'all think they should add that in M-rated games? Or T-rated? Excuse me. EM or M-rated, because from T-rated to EM. So so if I mention a rating that you're like confused, if I mean by EM, I mean like what's currently T-rated, which shouldn't be. It should be from T-rated to EM. Everyone but mentally mature, which is 7+, an exception specifically for 6 years old. M-rated, 7+. From 17+, which is stupid. I don't necessarily like 17+, which obviously it shouldn't necessarily be 17+. So it's gonna be from 17+ to 7+. Which means no exceptions, specifically going to be for 7+ individuals, from those who are age 7 and beyond, for both boys/men/guys/males, and girls/women/ladies/female, like overall, so you know, so obviously no M rated is, but it's going to be from 17+, it will be from 17+ to 7+. And then RP means rated, RP means like, it has not yet been rated, like overall, so you know, so. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to shit, and I'm not gonna constantly pause. Like, let me stop constantly pausing. Like, overall, so you know, so.
Papers. They shouldn't give us any static up there.
What is the army? Obviously.
Alright. Drive on through.
Yeah, chat, like overall, it'll overall take quite a while for me to process, like overall, so you know, so in terms of like what her name is again. Obviously, we all know who Joe is. I'm kidding, chat. Certain people would forget what his name is. Obviously, for me, I would obviously know, just like how I know her name. But overall, for her specifically, not Joe, but for her specifically, it'll overall take quite a while for me to process, like overall, so you know, so like in terms of what her name is overall, you know, so. ID, you know, it's me. You know, I'm the real G.
Visiting a friend.
See me, chat. Whoa.
Get out of here, go! Close it up! Firefly!
Come on, let's get out of here. Go, come on.
Yeah, fuck the Fireflies. The organization. Not the animal, not the bug.
Now closed until further notice. All civilians must clear the surrounding area.
So much for the easy route. Patch yourself up, all right?
Oh, it's Tess. That's her name, Tess. Cause I locked in with the name. Like overall, it'll overall take quite often to process. Like overall, so. But her name is Tess, not Tessa. Obviously, that's not the name I was thinking. Obviously, it's Tess. So I'm looking for Last of Us Part 3. If I'm not able to be in it, then I'll possibly consider being in the Last of Us Part 4. Okay, let me
Outside
continue.
the wall.
Focus on the dialogue
You
chat.
could just let Robert go.
Oh, fuck Robert.
Cute.
Hey, Tess, you see that shit?
That's what I figured. Her name is Tess.
Hey, how's the east tunnel looking?
Yeah, it's clear. I just used it. No patrols. So where are you off to?
Gonna pay Robert a visit?
You too?
Who else?
You know what visit
Marlene.
she's referring to.
She's been asking around, trying to find him.
Marlene.
What do the Fireflies need with Robert?
You think she'd tell me?
Well, what did you tell her?
The truth. I got no idea where he's hiding.
Good man. Hey, you stay out of trouble, all right? Military's gonna be out in force.
I feel like I should play Left Behind because I feel if I play it, you would understand the story. Cause I noticed certain people play it when they beat the game, and some people would play before they start the game, unless they want to play the game before they play the DLC. But I would say when I beat the game, or if I want to play before I beat the game. Who knows? Whatever you all prefer.
Yeah, see you around.
Excuse me, chat. But I'm quite curious when you go live on TikTok, how do you show the game and yourself?
For Robert?
Like, I'm quite curious.
What do you make of that?
Because like it'll overall take off in the pause. Like overall, So I had to pause because she was talking.
I don't like it.
So,
We better find him before the Fireflies do.
but yeah, because like overall, it'll overall take off in the pause. Like overall, So that's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point. Hold on, let me get a drink of water while we're heading within this room.
This is us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Shit's stirring up out there. How we looking over here?
No signs of
Same shit.
military or infected.
That's what I like to hear.
How exactly do they know her?
Joel, give me a hand with this.
Yes, ma'am. Afterwards, I'm gonna play the Uncharted Lost Legacy. I just want to like explore the games that
Take it easy out there.
aren't gonna. Hold up. When's the last time I streamed The Lost Legacy? Let me check. I know it's gonna take quite a while for him to find it, but I have not necessarily been streaming WWE in quite a while. Uncharted. Oh, I remember I was playing Hitman, but I gotta buy the full game, so that's the whole point. I'm not necessarily like continuing it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Have I not played The Lost Legacy? Well, either way, I'm gonna play it, and if I have, I'll be sure to check it whenever. Hold up, checking a minute. My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal again, real quick. Like overall, so. But yeah, just cause like overall, chat. Like overall, it'll overall take quite a while for the process. Like overall, so. Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, it's good. How you feeling, brother? How you feeling? Are you new here? If you are overall, um, then yeah, be sure to sub. I was gonna think about something. Oh yeah, another thing. Besides me mentioning like, oh, I play with subs only, or that you have to have a mic before I play with you all as subs, you have to mention your age as well because there's gonna be certain games I'm gonna play, and if you're 5 or 6, you have to leave. You can be a sub, you can sub, but then you have to leave. But if you mention that you understand the game and all that shit, then you are able to remain here. That is 5 or 6. Because I know Salvador, he is 7, and he was watching me playing a GTA game, and I was like, hey, if he's 7, it's all good. But if you're 5 or 6, then yeah, I have to be honest, you have to leave because like, just for your own mental safety, pretty much. But like, yeah, like overall, chat, just like overall, it'll overall take quite a while for me to process. Like overall, so. Bro, what? That's specifically what you mentioned. Hold up, chat. Hold up, chat. Hold up. I mean, hey, you gotta mention your age. It's like, yeah, I get you understand the game, but like, if you don't mind me asking, because it's something I'm gonna have to ask when it comes to M-rated games, specifically M-rated game, because it's gonna be from 17 plus to 7 plus, obviously. But like, 24. Okay, that's a perfect. You're beyond 7 plus. Okay. Okay, I got you, bro. I'll be sure to continue. But yeah, like I specifically mentioned, chat. Before I continue, um, cause yeah, cause like overall, chat, like overall, it'll overall take quite a while in the process. Like overall, so. But anyway, chat, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to this shit. And he wants to witness me be badass and pop off. And I'm 20, so you're 4 years older than me. You're pretty much my girl age.
I need to watch what they throw away down here.
Mm-hmm. Got you, baby girl. But yeah, man, I feel bad for his daughter, man. Like, I prefer her living than dying. She was not meant to die. Excuse me, but I'm pretty sure because he picked her up. And that led to her blood, like... Or not her blood, her heart stopping, because, like, you're not meant to do that. You can't pick someone up when they're having a gunshot wound, excuse me. Yeah, I played it before. This is my... Can't mention how many times I've played this game, but like... Yeah, I've played it like plenty of time. So pretty much, you can spoil anything, but if anybody's new in here and they never played this game, you can't. But I reckon majority have played this game, so I figured spoilers wouldn't matter, so you can mention any scene. But I've watched plenty of clips of people playing it as well, so I'm the type of person who just wants to know about the game. I mean, there's gonna be a game, like, for GT 6, I don't want to watch any video. I just want to play the game. Like, I'm pretty sure you would prefer me to record it. That's cool. Oh, just know I'm playing on PS5, so don't put in, like, a long sentence when typing the chat, because it would mention the ... meaning, like, the sentence continue beyond of what you mentioned. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, same here. And don't ask why I'm walking around. I know exactly what I'm doing. Just gotta head towards her. Pretty much. Whew, man. I am looking forward for The Last of Us Part 3 though. I'm hoping I could be in it, but like I mentioned, if not, I'll be in The Last of Us Part 4. I'm hoping they make the
Our
fourth
backpacks are still
sequel.
here from last time.
That's cool.
Not a lot of ammo.
Make your shots count.
But Ellie, I love Ellie. We all gotta love Ellie. She's 14 in this game, 18 the second one. Ooh. 22 in the third one, and then 26 in the fourth one, because I'm pretty sure it's like 4 years. Because didn't they mention that part 2 is like 4 years beyond the first part? Boost? I got you.
You ready?
I've been working out despite the depression. I managed the depression. Yeah, whatever scene I'm within, I'll be sure to end it whenever. And that'll be like a wrap up for the day or whatever. Because at least she's 14. Like I specifically mentioned, chat. Like I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and obviously what I'm specifically mentioning was in this current live stream. Like I specifically mentioned earlier, was in this current live stream is that full mental maturity, or like I specifically mentioned before was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I'm gonna specifically mention was in my current live stream, because you already know that the facts is that full mental maturity or full maximum or max mental maturity is 7 plus. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age criminals being typically like overall, so like as I specifically mentioned was my recent live stream, is the last live stream, and as I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream like earlier and just at this moment. And again, chat, like I specifically mentioned was my recent live stream, last live stream, and as I'm going to specifically mention again was in this current live stream, like again, is that full maximum or max mental maturity is 7 plus. The brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, like physically, and then mentally it's fully formed but fully developed like when you're 7 years old, pretty much 7 plus from 7 years old beyond that for both. So pretty much 7 plus for both boys / men / guys / males, and girls / women / ladies / females, just overall. And like despite the age when I was being typically like overall, so overall, and just like what I specifically mentioned was as I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, or just like overall, like what I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream is that full maximum or max mental maturity 7 plus, the brain is fully formed and fully developed after birth, and despite the age when I was being typically like overall, so. But yeah, anyway, chat. Yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to this shit. Just overall, like without further ado, let's get straight to shit. Like overall, so. Oh, Ellie, man, she is badass though at 14. 7 years beyond, like 7 years beyond 7 years old, Like, yeah. 7 years, just pretty much 14 from 7 years though. 7 years later, she's 14, so it's like 7 years from 7 years old, pretty much 7 plus, which is pretty much like full mental maturity 7 plus. Just like overall, like I specifically mentioned was my recent live stream, last live stream, and as I just specifically mentioned was my current live stream. Like overall, so. But anyway, yeah. Give me a minute though. But yeah, chat, yeah. Without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. Excuse me, chat, but hold on, give me a minute. But yeah, Zootopia's badass. It's PG. I recommend anybody 6 plus to watch it because it's PG, meaning parental guidance. So if you're like 6, you can go with your parent. But if you're like 7 plus, when I make those changes next year, like overall, so like 7 plus from 7 years old beyond that for both boys / men's / guys / males, and girls / women / ladies / females. Like 7 plus from 7 years old and beyond that, pretty much 7 plus overall. Just like overall, like I just specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and as I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream, just overall in terms of that shit, like overall, like overall, So, um, then yeah, I recommend anybody 6+ for PG because PG is different. But yeah, Zootopia 2 is badass. I watched the first one and the second one, so I'm looking forward for the third sequel. Like overall, like overall, so because they tease a for a third sequel, like overall, so. But yeah, but yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. Cause I'm gonna end this shit afterwards. Well, let me go back to where I left off. Though, give me a minute. Slash men slash guys slash males and girls slash women slash ladies slash and just like what I specifically mentioned was my like as I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams or just like overall, like what I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I just specifically mentioned was in this current live stream is that full maximum or max mental maturity 7+. But no, yeah. Give me a minute though. But yeah, Jay, yeah. Without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. Excuse me, Jay, but hold on, give me a minute. But yeah, Zootopia's badass. It's PG. I recommend anybody 6+ to watch it because it's PG, meaning parental guidance. So if you're like 6, you can go with your parent. And it's 6+ to watch it because it's PG. But yeah, I know, Jay. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Without further ado, let's get to shit. Like overall, so. My bitch, I was thinking about something personal again, real quick, like overall, so. But I didn't have to mute my mic because, like, how I specifically mentioned, like, I would typically talk to myself with my mic muted when thinking about something personal, but I didn't have to necessarily mute myself within this moment. But yeah, like overall chat, yeah, yeah, I was thinking about something personal again, like real quick, like overall, so. But anyway, chat, yeah. Without further ado, let's get started, shit. Like overall, so. But yeah, Ellie, she's yeah, gonna be 14. Well, no, she is 14 within this game.
Go on.
Like, yeah, she is 14. Within this game. Like overall, so.
Got it.
Be careful.
Excuse me, chat.
That a trick question? Ain't
Oh,
been
doesn't
out
seem
here
like
in
it.
a while.
It's like we're on a date.
Well, I am the romantic type.
Your ways.
I mean, shit. He possibly lost his wife as well. Or possibly got into a divorce or something, who knows? And he had to be a single
Where's
father
the ladder?
taking
It's
care
gotta
of
be
his
around
child.
here somewhere.
My bad.
Hey, try over there.
I know exactly where the ladder is, baby girl.
Got it.
Great, bring it over.
Ladies first.
Lady, you must be thinking of someone else.
It's all relative.
This way.
God damn, what exactly happened to the pool table? But yeah, Zootopia 2 was pretty much associated with dual cops, as according to, or prior to the first sequel. Like overall, you know, so you know, so.
Down through here.
So yeah, I love Zootopia, but like I mentioned, it's PG, so I recommend anybody 6+, or recommend anybody for anybody
Still
6+,
got our guns.
For his sake.
to
Be
witness
better.
the
Once we
first and
get our
second sequel of
merchandise
it.
back, it should be easy to
Or
unload.
any like for any PG movie, I recommend anybody 6+ in older. For both boys slash men slash guys slash males, and girl slash woman slash lady slash female. For anybody 6+, like that age and beyond that. Just in terms of the PG movie specifically, despite full mental maturity being 7+, like just overall, what I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I just specifically mentioned was my current live stream earlier, and just overall. And like in terms of like full mental maturity being 7+, like just overall, you know, so you know, so. But for PG specifically, it's 6+, from the age of 6 and beyond. And then from the movie that's PG-13 currently will be from PG-13 to PG-7. Like overall, you know, so you know, so. Hold on, let me go back to where I left off. Specifically, despite full mental maturity being 7+, like just overall, what I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I just specifically mentioned was my current live stream earlier, just overall. And like in terms of like full mental maturity being 7+, like just overall, you know, so you know, so. But for PG specifically, it's 6+, from the age of 6 and beyond. And then from the movie that's PG-13 currently will be from PG-13 to PG-7. Like overall, you know, so you know, so. Pretty much like when I make those changes next year, like just overall, like what I specifically mentioned was in my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I just specifically mentioned was in my current live stream, like earlier, when I mentioned about the changes, like overall, like I'm gonna make next year of exactly year 2026, just like overall, like whether it's political changes or just changes overall, I specifically mentioned, like whether it's for video games, movies, TV shows, and obviously TV series, and just political changes like overall, like the changes I'm gonna make overall, like of exactly year 2026, just like overall, just overall, you know, like what I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I specifically mentioned was my current live stream. Like overall, you know, so you know, so. Political changes or just changes overall. My current live stream. I specifically mentioned was my recent live streams, last live stream, and what I specifically mentioned was my current live stream. Like overall, you know, so you know, so. Political changes or just changes overall. My current live stream. So yeah, chat. Like overall, so. But yeah, currently masturbating at the very moment. Oh, apparently someone's watching. Hold up. Let me just continue. Hold up, chat. My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal. Again, real quick, like overall, so. But yeah, like overall, so. But yeah, for masturbating, that would be like masturbating slash jerking off. That would typically be 7+, because you would understand why you're doing that shit. Like overall, so. But no, chat. Yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to the shit. So.
Well, speaking of merchandise, when's that next shipment?
We're meeting Bill next month. More pills, lots of ammo. Supposedly. Hold up. Spores.
Damn.
Where the hell are all these coming from? The place was clear last time.
They're coming out of something. Stay alert.
See me, chat?
There's our culprit.
Body's not that old. Better keep your eyes and ears open.
We should be able to fit through here.
You okay?
Yeah. Damn ceiling's falling apart. Be careful.
My bad, chat. I was thinking about something personal. Again, like real quick. Like overall, so. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to shit. My bad. Okay, anyway.
Easy. Watch it, watch it.
Help me.
My mask broke.
Don't leave me to turn.
Rest in peace, brother.
Poor bastard.
But in the chat, I get that. I'm not what's in a specific scene that I want to consider ending it, but I'm gonna either way just consider ending it. So yeah, I'm gonna consider ending it right here. If you want to see more of me playing The Last of Us, Part 1 Remastered, be sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'm gonna end right here. Take it easy, chat. Yeah, I was just like seeing if it's Part 1 Remastered, obviously, because overall, it'll overall take off in the process, like overall, so. But enter again, I'm gonna enter here. Take it easy, chat. But yeah, as I was supposed to be mentioning, chat, like, I was just ensuring if it's like The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered or The Last of Us Remastered Part 1, but it's The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered. Because like overall, chat, like overall, it'll overall take quite a while for me to process. Like overall, so I'm sure, yeah, I'm gonna take it easy shit.